Hi, I'm Marianne Wolf, and I am the chair of the Chapel Hill-Carrboro City School Board. A long time ago when I was a teacher, I actually taught 5th grade. I had one particular student who came into 5th grade still not being able to read very much at all. And witnessing that, what that did to that student and how much it got in the way of how that student learned other material and other subject areas was very, very interesting. And throughout that year, I had to learn, in working with some of the resource teachers and other supports, how do we help to give this child the reading vocabulary and the ability to access reading in a way that is important. And we spent a lot of time that year. Teachers before had tried, for whatever reason, in this partnership with a wonderful EC teacher, we were able to work together to help build the students' reading vocabulary. And it took a lot of different mechanisms and a lot of different ways to do that. And I mention this today as a way that literacy has really impacted me, because what I saw is when that child started to be able to read and consume written text, everything else just flourished. So I think overall we know that in North Carolina, as in most states, we have room to grow in literacy. We have a long way to go if you look at NAEP scores, which are the national scores that we can compare state by state. North Carolina is often at or a little bit above the average, but even that shows that we have a long way to go in terms of ensuring that literacy is being addressed for all of our students. We also know that improving literacy takes resources. We need to have an excellent teacher in every single classroom, but we also need to have the funding and the resources in order to provide additional supports when needed. And so as a state, our per pupil expenditure is actually $3,000 below the national average. And that is a place where we could do more in order to address needs. Literacy is obviously very important for each and every one of our students. And there are several policy areas that can support literacy. So first of all, focusing on birth through 5 and our preschool and early childhood opportunities make a significant difference in how we support individual students, also their families, and having access to literacy, having access to books, having access to text. We also see other policy areas that can help us. How are we looking at literacy once we have our students in the K through 12 school system? Are we looking at where there are gaps and how we can address those with individual students in order to make sure that they're able to read and write at a grade level and beyond in order to reach their potential? So those are really important areas that we can focus on. We also need to look at literacy through an equity lens, because some students may or may not be at the same point or may not be learning literacy in the way that we want them to and they want to. And so by understanding where we have gaps in our community and in our students are things that we can do to go ahead and try to address that.